All right, we should be live. All right, all right, all right. Peace to the gods. Peace to the goddesses. Welcome back to the rug pull. I am your friendly neighborhood alchemist, Darth Flock. Okay. Now, you know how we get down on this here mystery session. Okay. We take this shit to a level not very much seen since the information was first made pertinent. Okay, we deal with the lost and the forgotten, things that are of occult nature, things that your average person was not able to be privy to unless it was truly in their heart or in their spirit or in their soul. Peace to the gods in the chat. Welcome to everybody that comes late. I know some of y'all don't watch the live video and ain't in here when I do this shit live. I don't give a fuck. Okay? Shout out to the people that do come and make it to where I'm not talking to myself. Because it's a little bit easier when I'm able to, at least in theory, speak to someone. Even if y'all don't even say shit back in the comments or in the chat or whatever. It's just a psychological thing. Everything is in the mind, of course. Okay. But what we have right here is a picture of the temple of Osiris in Abydos in Kemet, known today as Egypt. Alright. And I chose this image to start because we're going to be dealing with a lot of mysteries. Alright. And a lot of this information was only known by people who were initiated into a certain mystery school, mystery system, you know what I'm saying? Some sort of occult damn teachings or whatever the case may be. And this picture is from the courtyard of the Temple of Osiris. Because before you can even go inside the temple as a new initiate, there was rituals that must have been done in the courtyard prior to even being able to go in and learn further and deeper into the mysteries. You know what I'm saying? So I just wanted to read some shit from this book that I'm reading that's pretty much breaking down each of the hieroglyphs word for word, bar for bar. I will get you the scholarship on what it is that I'm reading. Let's see. It's called Temple of the Soul. Let me see. Wata Ashby. This is a good book. This book we're reading from is called Temple of the Soul, Initiation Philosophy in the Temple of Osiris at Abydos. Decoded Temple Mysteries, Translation of Temple Inscriptions, and blah, blah, blah. Okay? This is from Dr. Muata Ashby. Okay? Now, this book is straight heat. Now, I'm going to hold it up for you so you can see. This motherfucker is thick. Okay, straight like that. This motherfucker is thick. But I do want to read something first. It's not really what we're getting into, but I want to see how many pages this motherfucker is. 697. I'd say there's 701 pages in this book. But, yeah, from the courtyard. Like I said, before you can even enter the temple, there was many rituals that you had to perform on the outside of the temple. You know what I'm saying? To get your mind pretty much ready for what it is that you'll be learning. You know? But I wanted to read what I'm about to read because I want you guys to understand something. Out of everything that you could be tapped into in this day and age, out of all the things that you could be spending your time doing, in this day of distraction and all of just the abundance of shit that you could possibly be doing. I mean, you definitely have more options to do than some motherfucker that was in some goddamn tribe 1,000 years ago. Goddamn playing with sticks and stones and shit. Alright? Yeah. You could be tapped into anything, but you choose something inside your heart, something inside your soul is choosing to further their knowledge. That is something special. That is something very unique. That is something that is not done much, especially when dealing with us, because knowledge is infinite, right? But to deal with certain degrees of knowledge, you know, it separates you, you know. And I just want to read some of this shit. This spot right here where we're looking at, it says, standing in this spot, one can look forward and see the temple facade in the distance. And looking back towards the east, one would see the town, the city, where ordinary people... Let me get towards the mic for you niggas. Looking back towards the east, one would see the town and the city where ordinary people live in their worldly concerns and activities. Generally, the people who live outside the temple are dominated by worldly concerns, needs, and desires. Most of them are thinking about and caught up in their relationships, about where their next meal is coming, and from about what they are doing in their lives in terms of their work and their daily sustenance. Turning towards the temple is turning towards the divine and away from worldly desires. However, the difference is that turning towards the temple is not turning with hypocrisy, not with mere faith or doing mindless rituals for the purpose of escaping the drudgery and the futility of worldly life for a seemingly easier worldly existence as temple clergy. Rather, turning towards the temple is seeking to discover the meaning of one's true existence with a sense of being a true adult with maturity. Hold on. Where we at? Okay, spirituality in a fantastic realm where one is saved by magical beings and from the pains and sorrows of life in an idyllic paradise. At this stage of life, one has done deep reflection about the folly of human life and understands the limitations and the fleeting nature of life. Those reflections are coupled with insight into the fact that there is a deeper and higher source of being that human beings can aspire to, which is above the degradation that they have led themselves to in the current condition of human life. Seeking to discover the eternal is logical and a higher goal of life, as opposed to living just for the sake of producing progeny or experiencing the fleeting pleasures of the senses or the pleasures derived from gathering wealth, progeny, fame, or etc. The latter would be looking away from the temple and towards the east, and where the city where the most ordinary people live out their lives in spiritual and mystical ignorance, never knowing the higher wisdom of inner self. Looking forward from east to the west, okay, towards the temple, means having an innate desire to go to the temple to discover the mysteries of life, and having developed ethical purity as well as a dispassion and detachment about the fleeting nature of one's own personality, and a mystical understanding of the illusionaries and the futility of worldly affairs. Facing the temple is facing the mystery of life head on and facing the insufficiency of ordinary human existence. The ultimate reason for this pursuit is because no matter how long one may live in this lifetime or over many lifetimes, human existence will never bring abating happiness and satisfaction or contentment. It will never lead to the truth about the nature of the creation of life. Okay, so let me keep going. Looking away from the temple is affirming worldliness and worldly pursuits that do not abidingly satisfy the heart and inevitably come to a physical end at the time of death, and is nevertheless lingers after death in the form of unresolved issues, unresolved feelings, unresolved desires that impel the soul into further incarnations in the future. That kind of life leads to unhappiness, frustration during the lifetime, and reincarnation after death. I told you niggas you can turn into a ghost by giving too much of a fuck about this ordinary life that we live. I told y'all. The temple offers an opportunity to answer the questions of life and resolve the issues that has rendered the personality incomplete. It is for those who are willing to traverse the path laid out by the priests and the priestesses of the ancient times. That is their legacy that they left for us, meaning for anyone who is willing and desirous of traversing this royal path. Anyone who traverses this path is seen as a royal personality because they are going to sit on the ultimate throne, that is the throne of Osiris, the universal soul. My name is Darth Flocka, and this is the motherfucking mystery session. Class is in session. Okay? Now, what's interesting about this right here, the Tree of Life, this was taught here, but it wasn't taught like this. This is what we have today. Okay? We have the culmination of all of these different teachings. Get your unresolved emotions in check. Peace to the gods in the chat. Please get your unresolved emotions in check, or you will be coming back. So get over whatever the fuck it is in your mundane little life that has you feeling like a human, thinking like a human, expressing emotions like a human, so that if you suddenly die in a damn car, you don't still got all that shit still on your soul. And end up having to come back to this bitch. So anyways, we are dealing with a very advanced system, okay? I'm going to tell you right now. I've been looking at this tree. I remember the first time I seen this shit. I was like, oh, fuck no. Like, seeing shit like this, right? I'm like, this is some advanced level shit. I don't even know if I was ready for this shit. You know what I'm saying? A couple pictures of the Tree of Life for y'all. You notice a lot of it is in Jewish because they was the first ones to pretty much bring it out. You know what I'm saying? Just not the tiny hat motherfuckers you guys see today. You know. Get all these pictures up. You know. But anyways, I've been looking at this tree, and this tree has popped up in multiple different facets, you know, of occult realm that I've been tapped into, you know, and for the longest, I'm like, this is something. Like I said, this is just an initiation, you know what I'm saying? This is you take however far you go after this is on you. It's your will. It's your heart's desire, okay? You're interested, this is why you're listening, okay? I've done some due diligence, and that's all I'm doing is just sharing my interpretation of what it is that all of this is trying to convey, okay? Simple as that. Now, like I said, when you first look at this shit, it looks advanced, and it very much is. In every way, shape, or form, it's some advanced shit. Okay? Now, but knowing that, though, okay? When you're dealing with an advanced system, you got to take your time with it. I remember I got this book, The Mystical Kabbalah, right? I opened it up, and I think I read maybe like 4 or 5 pages of the book. And the author, and mind you, it's all talking about the Tree of Life, right? So I'm like 3 pages into the book. Mind you, I will give you guys the scholarship. I already gave you guys what I just read from. That was the Temple of the Soul. And an amazing book. You can get something every time. You can get a new piece of knowledge every time you open up the book because he's going over all the hieroglyphs and there's just hella ism. But the main book we're going to be reading from is the Mystical Kabbalah. Yeah. Mystical Kabbalah. Yeah, we're reading from this one, Dion Fortune's book. Okay. Mystical Kabbalah. Boom. Now, like I said, I'm about 3 to 5 pages in the book. And I'm like trying to learn about the fucking Tree of Life because, hey, it's some occult shit and I want to learn it, right? So I'm sitting here reading a damn book. I get about 4 pages in, the damn author want to start talking all this shit about goddamn astrology. And I'm like, well, fuck. I don't know anything about astrology at that moment. But then you start looking, you see Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, all types of shit. I'm sitting there looking, I'm like, god damn. All right. Closed book. Went and got some other books and learned and have been indulged into astrology ever since, because holy shit, it's one of the best things ever. And it's also necessary to understand the tree of life. And it's very interesting when you learn astrology. It's way easier because a lot of this shit numbered 1 through 7. It's like, okay, a lot of these are associated with certain planets, if you will. Okay, and in astrology, it shows how these planets have they have certain characteristics. Okay, peace to the gods in the chat. They have certain characteristics. Now, what I find very interesting about dealing with these forces, right? Now, here's how you got to look at the forces. The forces themselves, all of these sun and chakra, all of the different energies, you have to look at the energies as being intelligent energies. You can't look at this shit as being inanimate or having no consciousness or having no. This shit is a lot deeper than whatever the fuck we ever thought this shit was. Okay. Now, out of all of these right here, on your initiation today, we will be dealing with number 9 and number 10. We could start off with the crown, the kether, and all the good shit up here, and wisdom and understanding and whoopty whoopty whoop and whoopty whoopty whoop. Yeah. Mars 1. I don't know who Mars 1 is. Peace to the gods in the chat though. Yeah, everybody want to start with the good shit? No. We're starting down here. Foundation in the kingdom. Alright, boom. Cause I'm over here, I'm doing some shit, and I'm over here like, oh shit, I got a whole video on my damn page talking about Enoch and where was the shit at? Got a whole video on my shit. But anyways, there's a Bible verse. I'm like, okay. And Enoch walked with God, and he was not, for God took him. Now, this verse right here is an excuse for Christians and Bible believers alike to say that Enoch never died. He never saw physical death. Okay? And what does it say? All the days of Enoch were 365 years, and Enoch walked with God, and he was not, for God took him. Right? So everybody has a death, but pretty much Enoch and Elijah, 2 characters in the Bible who were carried off or taken away. Now, what I end up doing, and mind you, knowledge is infinite. This shit don't stop. When I first figured out that was pretty much not what the hell was going on, and it was something deep, it was something way deeper. You know what I'm saying? Because Enoch's story is dealing with a whole bunch of mysterious shit, right? But here's the thing, though. You go back to Enoch. Enoch's name means dedicated, consecrated, or trained. His name means initiated, okay? So clearly, when you're dealing with any of Enoch's teachings, you're dealing with some high-level wisdom that is really meant for those that are initiated. Straight like that. Now, even then, stemming from the Hebrew root word Hanukkah, whatever the fuck, which refers to initiating. Period. So we're dealing with the shit we're dealing with is some whole different shit. Enoch was not, for God took him. Nigga, Enoch, where we at? Enoch, this nigga went from the kingdom straight to the crown, nigga. He took the middle path. Straight to the crown, from the kingdom to the crown. Skip the dumb shit. That nigga went from the kingdom to the crown. We are dealing with some whole different shit that the Bible is putting in people's face. But in order, because you have to understand, the Bible is dealing with a group of people called the children of Israel, right? And these children of Israel have in them a specific goddamn tribe out of the 12. The tribe is called Judah. Now, as the mythology goes, the 10 kingdoms was carried off, and the southern 2 kingdoms of Judah and Benjamin were the only ones that remained during the time of Christ, right? So what the Romans and the Greeks allegedly called these people who were from the tribe of Judah were, in short, Jews, okay? So you can say the Bible is about the Jews, if you will. Now, here's the interesting thing about that, right? When you deal with the Jews, these niggas are the ones that came up with the motherfucking, the Yitzra, some Jewish shit, right? Which means formation, right? It's this book right here, the Sefer Yitzra, the book of creation, okay? Now, you have to understand, it is the earliest text of the earliest Jewish mystical text. Everybody got their mystic shit. The mystical Muslims are called Sufis, okay? The mystical Christians are called Rosicrucians, right? Even hell, Freemasons and shit, some of that shit, right? Yeah, the Rosicrucians are the mystical goddamn Christians, right? But then you got the damn Jews who's got the Torah and all the other books that in the Tanakh, right? The 24 books of the Old Testament. Now these people have their mystics as well. And they deal with this shit called the Kabbalah. And this book right here, the Sefer Yitzra, which is the earliest mystical text, right? Dealing with their creation and the whole, this is where you get the Tetragrammaton, the Yod-Heh-Vah-Heh, the goddamn YHWH, all that shit, okay? Some niggas who had some sauce back in the 6th century, okay? Putting a lot of this shit together. So 6th century, nigga, that's 500 AD. 500 AD. So knowing that, 500 AD, Christianity comes out 325 AD. The teachings that you got a lot of shit going on. You got the Gnostic niggas and all that shit going on. You got a lot of shit going on. Okay, but there was a lot of information that was out, and there was a lot of groups that had taken a lot of knowledge underground, and there was a lot of people that had knowledge from prior. And like I said, they always take these different mythologies and mix them up and switch them up. You know what I'm saying? So eventually, when one group gets it, they take it and expound on the damn shit. And this is what we're talking about. They expounded on it and was able to put a lot of the ancient wisdom that had, by that time of fucking 500 fucking AD, nigga, that shit was lost, nigga. These niggas who established this shit was far and gone in between. I'm gonna tell you that. Far and gone. Very far and gone. Okay? So anyways, we're gonna deal with some real science. Alright? Now, dealing with this tree. First of all, let's go back to this Yitzra, right? Boom. The book. 4 worlds. Kabbalistic tree of life. Okay. The tree of life. The Yitzra is Rousseau. Okay. Boom. Let me see something real quick. Do we got a picture of the pillars? We need to get a picture of the tree of the life with the pillars. We need to get the pillars. Okay, this looks like one of them ones. Save. Why can't we? See, and you know what I noticed? It only do this dumb shit when I'm... No, it don't. It kind of do. It might. Who knows? Okay, we're good. It usually only... It be doing some dumb shit when we're live, though. But hold on. So we got these 2 pillars, too. Boaz and Joaquin. Joaquin... goddamn representing... shitty quality. Holy shit. But anyways, look at this. You see these 2 pillars and shit like that? The dealing with the ancient shit? Okay, boom. You know who else be having that shit? Watch. The Masons. Okay? And they don't even, and the funny thing is, they don't even hide the damn shit. You know? They don't even hide the damn shit. Especially with this one, nigga. This is actually the damn star of Morocco, nigga. The Moorish shit. From back then. Showing where they even got the sauce from. But like I said, these two pillars. Whoa. Whoa. Thought I seen one that I liked. This one. J and B. And then you even see the damn, all the alchemical symbols. That's what I'm saying. Like, people will look at this shit and be like, nigga, devil shit. Freemasonry, devil shit. Now, don't get it fucked up. The teachings ain't devil shit. The motherfuckers that have the teachings and represent the teachings are devil shit. You know what I'm saying? And it ain't nothing but the damn white man, for real. The Freemasons is a pretty much white fraternity. And any niggas that's Freemasons only can be Prince Hall Masons. They can't be Scottish Rite or York Rite. Regardless, they got the damn science, okay? You see the damn element of fucking air, element of earth, the two pillars, and you see without the line across, that's interesting, the fucking fire and water, pillars of Joaquin and Boacan, right? All of the damn, these are the zodiac signs. Zodiac signs, sun and moon. Like I said, when you look at some of these damn symbols, a lot of people be like, oh, that's some damn devil shit. And even then, they'll look at this shit and be like, well, nigga, there's a snake right there. That's got to be devil shit, right? It's got to be devil shit. There's a snake right there. Whoa. Hold on. And they see all this shit, and they're like, all right, well, hold on. Where are we at? You see the two pillars, right? Boaz and Joachim, whatever nigga name is, pillar of severity, pillar of mercy. You have to understand, these pillars are in the damn tree. You know what I'm saying? It's a part of the damn science, nigga. Negative polarity, positive polarity. Straight like that. Mercy, severity. You know what I'm saying? Victory, glory. It's all one. The shit balances each other out. And this is why we're not about to deal with all of these. We're going to explain all of these, but you know what I'm saying? We have, let's go to the other one. That has a fucking, better fucking. Okay, boom. Wisdom, understanding, mercy, severity, beauty, victory, splendor, foundation, kingdom. Okay? I'm going to sum this shit up. You have Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Mercury, all of these different planets acting as these spheres, if you will, right? And all of these different energies is all coming and emanating from a certain source. You have to understand, everything that we deal with down here on Earth is nothing but a form of an emanation. Meaning, we're definitely dealing with a high level illusion for your goddamn mind, but also the source. Okay, so how about this? Everybody has a soul that's powering their body. Where is the source of that? It's not here on Earth. Okay, it's being beamed down to fucking us. The fucking soul, the energy for the soul, all that energy and all that shit. The source, nigga. It's not here. Okay? We're dealing with high levels of emanations, right? Now, this is the Corpus Hermeticum, or what we call the Hermetica, which is, you know, the teachings of Tahuti back in the damn temple. Goddamn, in the damn temple. Hold on, now I gotta go back to the shit real quick. So look, we're about to read from the Hermetica, and I'm only bringing back up the book that I started off with because to show you, nigga, Thoth is on the damn book, on the cover. You feel me? So a lot of the shit that was being taught in there came from, you know what I'm saying? Straight like that. So anyways, especially even the foundation of the damn tree and its lightning flash, which you see this is, boom, all that right there is considered the lightning flash of emanation, of creation, right? The Z in between all that. That black Z is what's considered the lightning flash. Well, how the fuck did they even come up with the goddamn... Who came up with the goddamn lightning flash? You feel me? And everything started in one source and everything ended up emanating down to the other source. Or the final source. Or the fucking base, if you will. Right? Here's the thing. This text right here. Okay, boom. Okay, but okay. Man being imperfect. As far as it's possible, I say that truth is only in the eternal bodies, whose very bodies be also true. The fire itself, nothing else. The earth itself. Okay, the elements are all real, but our bodies consist of these. It is neither fair. Okay, and at the beginning of our constitution, had not truth understand all things upon the earth. O tat. Listen to this. Listen to this shit. All things therefore upon earth, O tat. Imhotep. Anyways, are not truth, but imitations of truth. And yet, not all things neither, for they are but few that are so. But the other things are falsehood and deceit, O tat, and opinions like the images of fantasy or in appearance. And listen to this shit. And when the fantasy have an influence from above, then it is an imitation of truth, but without that operation from above, it is left a lie. Listen to this shit. It says, and as an image shows the body described, and yet it is not the body of which it seems as it seems to be. And it seems to have eyes, but it sees nothing, and ears, but hears nothing at all, and all other things that have picture, but they are false, deceiving the eyes of the beholder, whilst they think they see the truth, they are yet indeed but lies. This is some of the most powerful shit I've ever read in my life. Because everything I just read confirms that you are living in the Matrix, nigga. 100% living in the Matrix, but it's all for your mind. That's it. We're going to deal with magic and shit, how to manipulate the Matrix and all the shit, but you have to understand that this is the Matrix, though. Okay? This is all a fantasy. Everything you see is if you've ever seen Stranger Things, this is the upside down, if you will. You know, you got the real Earth out there somewhere, and then you have this shadow of Earth, hellhole. You know what I'm saying? And everything down here is falsehood. You know, it's the likeness. You know what I'm saying? As many as therefore as not... Okay. Where does it say? So that... Hold on, man. Do not miss the mark. Truth is indeed nowhere upon all earth, if it cannot be generated or made. But concerning the truth, there may be some men... Okay. So that the mind and reason there is nothing true. So that unto the mind and reason there is nothing true indeed upon earth. Peace to the gods in the chat. There's nothing true on earth. It's all up here in the mind. But unto the true mind of reason, but unto the true mind and reason, all things are fantasies or appearances and opinions. Tat. We must not therefore call it truth and speak the things that are. Question? Tahuti, Hermes. But there is nothing true upon earth. Why is that? We're about to break down why there's nothing true and why everything is the way it is. Because guess what? They put it all right here. They put it all, everything that Tahuti was saying, and the motherfucking, by the time the goddamn Jewish niggas got it in 600 AD, nigga, the fucking Hermetica that I'm reading from had already been given to the goddamn Greeks. The Greeks had it. Philosophers was philosophizing the shit out of some shit. Plato, Socrates, all these niggas who went and studied and came at the same motherfucking temple that I'm showing y'all. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, studied here, and eventually motherfuckers get the same teachings from them, and they end up advancing the damn shit, or taking that shit and taking the information and putting it into images. Why? Because images is what you need. Images are what you need. If images wasn't what you need, there would have never been no art found on any of the goddamn caves, nigga. The oldest damn artwork, nigga. Images are what the human subconscious runs off of. Symbols is what the damn subconscious is fucking. It's the only language it understands. The subconscious don't understand goddamn English. It understands symbols. It speaks in an entirely different language. Hence why I can look at this symbol right here and all of the small symbols in between and be like, nigga, this is some high level advanced science. You know what I'm saying? Now that I've been made aware of what the symbols mean. But until then, they'll forever whoop your ass. Okay? And this is why we're here to shed light on what was once dark. Okay? Some niggas didn't make it out of the courtyard and even make it into the temple to even get there. A lot of people are facing the other way, and they turn their back on this type of knowledge. And this is why I say you must be a god or have some sort of god in you, because out of all the shit that you could be tapped into, there's something in you that has you searching for the meaning of something deeper and more profound than your mundane existence and anything else that's going on in your goddamn life, which you still can tend to and all the shit as you should, but at the same time, nigga, you still got to be chasing and seeking this goddamn knowledge. So if you're on that, oh, you're on the god level. And it ain't gotta be watching me or doing shit like this. This is literally, you do it on your own. However you end up doing it, you gotta do the damn shit though. Okay? Now, where's that at? Everything's a fantasy. Okay, you get it. This is the Hermetica, chapter 15. They don't even put this goddamn... If I go over there... My shit's on the shelf. If I go over there and grab my goddamn Hermetica, it don't even got book 15 in it. I have to go online. I have all these books over here. I have this book. But I don't have this chapter. My shit goes from 14 to 16. And I'm like, well, that can't be right. Let's Google and see what the hell book 15 says. Oh shit, it says nothing on earth is real. And they just pull that right out. Make sure nobody has that goddamn information. But on to the next, you know. But this right here just lets you know it's all images, fantasy, or appearances. Okay? Straight like that. Straight like that. Now, let's deal with the source of the fantasy and the appearance. Okay? It's all emanations. Emanations. I want to see if I see that word. But the way, nigga, whoever made this website, my nigga, I get that you got the motherfucking Anubis and Heru in the background, but nigga, I can't focus with this. It's overloading my sensories. Okay? Yes, everything proceeds from the mind of God. That's what the Hermetica says. Okay? Now let's move to the sources. To the sources. Okay, let's break down this tree. Now, up here we have Kether, the crown, right? Now, with this, you literally have to understand the concept of correspondences. Literally, correspondences. Everything corresponds to each other. So, in the fucking long story short, you know, you have all of these different energies, right? In the form of planets. Now, if you understand that there is a... like you have your own natal chart, right? That means you understand that there are these planets acting upon your life as well too, right? Now, what's interesting is all of the planets, from what I've gathered, right? The super large energy from Jupiter, the Mars energy, you feel me, that directed energy, one-pointed Venus, the love, all that beauty, all this, whatever. All of this energy and all of these planets, it's crazy how they all balance out, but then they all head, and all that energy is funneled from the source, right? All of this energy is funneled straight through YESOD, number 9, down to MALKUTH, number 10. Material realms, the earth, number 10. Let's look at MALKUTH. We have to look at MALKUTH. Okay? I don't know if I have the fucking definition of it. We're going to do the Google shit and then we're going to get into the book. Period. Okay, MALKUTH is the 10th and final Sephirah in the Kabbalistic tree of life, representing the physical world, the existence, and the culmination of divine energy at the lowest, as the lowest emanation. It acts as the foundation or bride. Now, this is what's interesting, right? You got MALKUTH, which is the basically the foundation, right? But here's the one everybody talks about, you know, the Kether, right? The crown, the highest Sephirah in the tree of life, you know, the represents the divine will, pure consciousness, the impulse of creation, the most hidden of all things hidden, you know. It acts as a bridge between the infinite, blah, 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 right? It's some unknowable shit, some hidden light, all this extra shit, right? So here's the thing. If we're dealing with correspondences, you have to understand, as above, so below, right? So if we're dealing with the ultimate unknowable, ultimate potential, just the maximum ever that there ever could be, right? On the total opposite of that, down here in MALKUTH, where we are at, do you know what exists? The potential for that. Remember, what did the Bible say? Enoch was not, for God took him. For God took him. So what? What's that saying? Nigga, it is possible to go from the kingdom, or from the abyss, if you will, to the kingdom, if you will. You know what I'm saying? Or from hell, the lowest point, all the way to heaven. Straight like that, right? Now here's what's interesting. You know, I like to deal with energy. This is why I'm doing this, because I'm like, oh shit, you know, I'm a magician in training, damn it. So if I'm over here trying to figure out how to, you know, how this magic shit works, because it's not just what you, it ain't just hocus pocus, nigga. It ain't just hocus pocus, nigga. It ain't just, nigga. It ain't, nigga. It's not hocus pocus. Now, even what's interesting, you know, you go to you even look at some what you would think is primitive shit. Some primitive rituals from a tribe hella long ago. Look at some niggas in Africa doing some voodoo, right? Whoa. Or anybody doing a ritual. Whoa. The wise people of the ritual, they always have some fucking elements going on. They always have certain elements going on. Sometimes they'll wear a certain color. Sometimes they'll fucking have a certain food. They'll have a certain crystal. They'll have a certain something. And it's always specific. It's always specific when dealing with certain rituals of certain things. Because when you want to act or call upon certain energies, because all of these energies is also represented as different gods in a pantheon, right? You have the main creator God, and then you have the wife of the God, and the first one, and then, you know what I'm saying, God and his fucking wife, and then you have the fucking Jesus nigga in the middle, and then the fucking all these other fucking motherfuckers, right? So what they would do in the ancient ritual is they would be invoking a certain God. Oh, we're about to go to war, nigga. Let's call on Mars, nigga, or whatever we call the god of war. You know, the Greeks call him Ares. You know what I'm saying? Over in goddamn in the Yoruba thing, I would assume that is Ogun. You know what I'm saying? So motherfuckers finna do a goddamn Ogun ritual. You know what I'm saying? Straight like that. Speaking of that, I'm pretty sure that's what they did over there in it's not even I'm not even pretty sure. That is what they did. They did it in oops, wrong picture. They did it in Haiti before they goddamn went and started cutting off white folk head, Frenchmen. You know what I'm saying? They did a certain ritual for Ogun. You know what I'm saying? Had the fire going, had the elements, the smoke from, they had the whole shebang work. Nigga, the shit worked, nigga. You're like, well, how the fuck did they, nigga, it was a goddamn voodoo ritual that they did in August of 1794. Everybody's like, oh, or 1791. Everyone's like, oh, yeah, the Haitian Revolution, 1804. Niggas don't talk about that. What started the shit? When they sacrificed that black pig, and everybody out there was drinking that black pig's blood over there, getting that damn warrior old goose spirit. They're like, we gotta drink the pig's blood. Do you want to win the revolution or not, nigga? They were going up with machetes against niggas with guns. And the stories, the Frenchmen, there was no Frenchmen to tell the stories because they all died. But the niggas who told the story, they said bullets was bouncing off them niggas. They said bullets was bouncing off them niggas. How you got niggas with guns, and you fighting against stragglers with machetes? So, anyways, like I said, when you do or you're calling on certain energies for certain tasks, certain things or elements are needed to be present in the ritual in order for the shit to actually work. You know, you're like, damn, why ain't this shit work? You niggas got the wrong motherfucking stone, nigga. Niggas said pink quartz and you niggas went and got black tourmaline. So, you know, there's a reason for everything. There's a, you know what I'm saying, a spiritual reason. There's a physical reason to do it. But let's break down some of these, some of this mystical Kabbalah for you. Stop my yapping. And we're going to start a reading because this is not all based on my opinion. There is scholarship to further my, okay, we'll look at somebody. We'll look at the. Well, how about this? We'll look at this. We'll look at the path that Enoch took. The middle path. All right, I'm gonna read a little bit for you. Get you some bass. Patterns on the tree. It's too much. There's really a lot, bro. Listen, y'all. You see all this shit written? There's a lot to fucking, you know what I'm saying? There's a lot, okay? So I'm gonna try to do this rug pull thing and try to make it all make sense. Okay? Okay, hold on. Alright, we're not doing that. Alright, we'll deal with this middle pillar, this Enoch pillar. The Sephirah in the middle pillar may be taken as representing levels of consciousness and the planes in which they operate. MALKUTH is the sensory consciousness, the physical, nigga. You're down here in MALKUTH on the earth form. You're down here in the physical, right? Senses, using all 5 of your senses, which ain't nothing but your goddamn nervous system, which translates to electrical signals. Any feeling that you feel is nothing but an electrical signal flashing through your brain. That's it. But you feel some shit. YESOD is astrophysicism or psychism. Tipperah is illuminated consciousness. Tipperah is the illuminated consciousness, the highest aspect of the personality. That's what's right here. That's usually represented as Jebus. You feel me? Or Osiris for the ones that know the sauce. You know, the real Christ, nigga. Asar. Alright. Tipperah is illuminated consciousness, the highest aspect of the personality within the individuality has concealed. This is the condition which really constitutes initiation. It is the consciousness of the higher self brought through it into the personality. It is a gleam of the higher consciousness coming from behind the veil, Parkaref. It is the reason that the messiahs and saviors of the world are assigned Tipperah, right? So like I said, you can put this system into any pantheon, right? And in our scientific and the symbolism of the tree, and where they were light bringers to humanity, and as we're all who bring fire from heaven must do, they died the sacrificial death for the sake of mankind. It is here too that we die to our lower self in order that we may rise to the higher self, right? So here's the thing, right? So while you're down here on earth, okay, we ain't capping. No, oh, you got you. I said, man, listen, that's unknowable shit up there. We ain't finna sit there and talk about some shit that's unknowable. You Google the damn Kether, nigga, they're like, I don't even really know what this shit is. It's the source. Anyways, while you're down here on earth, the highest you can aspire to from your lowest point is Tipperaheth. Whatever the fuck. Number 6, okay? Right here. Now, this is what's interesting. The reason why we breaking down number 10 and number 9 is because, fuck, man, you got to get through these two to even get there. And these are both some shit. Because once you get past the physical, right? And let's say you make it up into the YESOD, right? Which is represented, mind you, this is the sun and this is the moon. This is the sun, this is the moon. This is the sun, this is the moon. This is all the other planets, right? All the other planets. All of that is doing what? Influencing everything down here in the physical. All of these energies up here, Jupiter, Mars, nigga, if the fucking moon goes back and forth, it goddamn make the fucking water go. So you don't think it has no goddamn play on you? It does. Which it actually has all of these different energies in the form of the planets, right? On a spiritual, astrological level, the filter for all of these, or how all of these manifest down here on the earth in you, they all have to go through YESOD, which is the moon, which regulates your emotions. Here's the thing. I had to Google this for a reason. Actually, no. No, where are we at? This one. Listen, you see all this? Do you see all these fucking emotions that you can feel? Literally. All of these are all the different, mind you, and look at this. This is the happy emotion, right? Everything is sad, disgusting, angry, fearful, and bad. Look how many negative emotions there are. Holy fuck, right? That goes back down to the 7, which when you go to the Gnostic thing, remember the 7 planets that I'm talking about, Mars and all these niggas, Jupiter and all these niggas, they're really just the 7 archons, right? That play on your ass. Right? This is why that energy, like I said, is real. So understand that there's a lot of emotions, but where do these emotions stem from? You're not just, it come from somewhere, nigga. It's a source to all the bullshit. You are at the bottom of the bullshit. Okay? Let's make this smaller if we can. Come on, my nigga. Okay, boom. Now, all of these planets, remember I said they all make up people's personality, right? But they just don't all rain down on a motherfucker and just blah. No, they all filter through this moon, right? They all filter through the sun, gives light to the moon, and the moon filters all of these different energies down to the earth and its people. But here's the thing. And don't tell me the moon don't have a goddamn effect on the goddamn people. Full moon, nigga? Stop it. Anyways, the moon represents what in a person astrologically, right? Hold on. The moon in astrology represents your inner world, your emotions. Your emotions. So all of the motherfucking, all these emotions right here, I don't know if I'm explaining this right, but this shit's just coming out. All of your emotions right here are the ones that come from these goddamn, these motherfucking planets right here. Okay? I'm trying to put the shit to where it's comprehensible, right? All of these fucking Jupiter, all these happy, joyous shit, Saturn, that'll have you over here feeling fucking sad, disgusted, angry. Mercury have you over here, whatever. All these right here are coming from this right here. Right down here. This is the path it takes. Straight down. straight influence. All of these, they all filter out and they all balance each other. So it's not, you know what I'm saying? And then they filter out through number 9, YESOD, the moon, if you will, and they manifest, they emanate up here from these different planets, right? You're like, why is everybody tripping? Because everybody's a combination of all these different energies in the ass. And until you realize that, you're going to act like whatever your sign is or whatever energy is dominating you or ruling you. I am a Saturnian person to the core, okay? People are afraid of Saturn. It's like the devil. It's super disciplined. It's all the, but hence why I do what I do, okay? I got a ton of books in the back. I can read them, okay? I was born on Saturday. Fucking, you name it, Saturn is heavy in my chart. It is what it is, okay? It has me feeling a type of way a lot of the damn time. You know what I mean? What the fuck ever. I may cuss you out, but at the same time, you listen to what I'm saying when I'm cussing you out. It's like, nigga, you needed to hear all that, nigga. And anybody who truly, truly, truly knows me personally, they know that. You know? This is why people call me when they want to get cussed out when they ain't on their shit. Because Saturn is the teacher that you didn't like in school. You hated that motherfucker, but that was the teacher that meant best for you. And you all know that damn teacher. Especially if you was a hellion like me. Okay? So anyways, all these different emotions are nothing but these different energies that all do balance out, but they all filter through and they all manifest, they all emanate from up above, and they manifest down through the kingdom, filtered all through the moon. Okay? Boom. Now we're going to deal with a part of the middle pillar that I pretty much represent. Okay, but you will not see it. You don't see it here. That's one. This is it, but it don't have the name. It's not here. Oh, there it is, right there. You see it right there. There's a hidden. There's 10 Sephira, right? There's 10 of them, but there's an 11th Sephira, right? There's an 11th Sephira. I had no idea, but this is Kabbalah. Okay. Dot is the hidden or invisible Sephira in the Kabbalah, representing the unification of the Sephiroth rather than the 11th sphere. Right, whatever. It's the bridge, it's the gateway, it represents knowledge and consciousness. This is what the name goddamn peace to the gods, peace to the gods. This is what the name Darth is representing in the goddamn Star Wars shit, unification of light and dark, whatever. Okay? Boom. Doth. Now, going back to the tree. Let's get what it means. Middle pillar rises through Doth, the invisible Sephira, which we've already seen is knowledge according to the rabbis, and conscious awareness, apprehension according to terminology. Ahead of the pillar, Kether, the crown, the root of all being. Consciousness reaches its spiritual essence, Kether, through the realization of Doth, in which it carries across the abyss into translated consciousness of Tippara, whether it is brought by the sacrifice of Christ, which rends the veil, then onto the psychic consciousness of YESOD, and then to the YESOD, the sphere of the moon, and thence to the sensory brain consciousness of MALKUTH. Thus does consciousness descend in the course of involution. Involution, understand this. You know how people say this right here? They say shit like, this is a new term these days. They be like, I got to download. Yeah, anyways, the shit does just come down from you, okay? The shit comes down. All those sources, it's raining down. There's shit above your ass, right? Coming outside of you, playing down on you, you know? I was just explaining this. Like, you get up there high enough in your consciousness on your God level, there may be somebody up there with you. And you may be over there resonating and sharing the same exact frequency with other people on that God level. Now, an example I thought of was a time I heard Michael Jackson. This nigga was talking about how this nigga was up in the damn studio, up all motherfucking night, and he was pressed to put this song out and record this song. And it was like, oh, what the fuck had you so pressed? He was like, if I did not record that song, Prince was going to record it. Meaning, mind you, Prince wasn't spying on him and didn't know exactly what song that Michael Jackson was working on. He just knew there's another nigga out there on the exact same wavelength that I'm on, dropping literally God-level bangers. Okay? So if I don't put this motherfucker out, he finna get the same sauce that I'm getting, because it's out there. And we're both on that frequency. So he finna get the same sauce I'm getting and put that shit out, you know, in his own way. And it's gonna be a banger because we're on that level. You know what I'm saying? So understand the consciousness descends in the course of involution, which is a term applied to the phase of evolution, which leads down from the first manifest through the subtle planes of existence to dense matter. The esotericist should, strictly speaking, only use the term evolution when describing the ascent from matter back into spirit. For then it is evolved from which it was involved in the descent through the subtle phases of development. It is obvious that nothing can be evolved, unfolded, which was not previously involved and enfolded. That's fucking right. Something can't evolve if it was never down at its fucking lowest base form. You know what I'm saying? This is who you niggas need to look at yourself as. Watch this. You can use the tree of life for anything. I'm about to use it in a mundane way and show you why you can. Okay? Hold on. Alright. Boom. This nigga. You got this nigga right here. You got motherfucking Charmander. You got this nigga right here, Bulbasaur. You know what I'm saying? Where's goddamn... You guys remember the nigga Squirtle and these niggas? Squirtle, look at Squirtle's ass right here. You feel me? Understand something, nigga. Understand something, nigga. You can't goddamn... Nigga, you can't become goddamn Charizard unless you are first goddamn Charmander, nigga. Straight like that. All these level 1 base Pokemon. This is how you come in the game. Base level, nigga. Base level. I ain't even out here telling you I'm Charizard. I'm telling you I'm the nigga in the middle, though. What that nigga name? Charmeleon. Well, Charmeleon was funny as hell, too. Watch this nigga. He had an attitude. This nigga has an attitude. Charmeleon, cuz. This nigga here. Damn right. You damn right. Okay? We're not there yet. We know where we want to be. Okay? We know where we want to be. Alright? Like I said, you start off as a goddamn base level Pokemon in this bitch. And the only way is up. Ain't no way you was already God. You ain't God no more. Okay? You're God in the flesh. And until you remember and realize and reintegrate all of the pieces of you that was lost upon your involution, you won't be able to evolution, yeah? Or evolve. Involve and evolve. Involve and evolve, alright? Somebody might join this bitch and be like, this nigga talking about goddamn Charmeleon. You goddamn right, nigga. The fuck? Goddamn right, Charmeleon, nigga. And if you go and watch how that nigga evolved too, he was pissed. Charmander was so mad, this nigga just evolved. Nigga like, you bitch ass niggas piss me off. That's what I'm saying. And that's really how this shit go. You know what I'm saying? You get frustrated enough with the mundane existence. You know what I'm saying? And it just depends on who you are. Like, I'm a Sagittarius rising, right? Which means my main persona is that of the goddamn, the fire. You know, but I'm also a Libra sun, which is the intellect, which we dealing with. You know what I mean? But, yeah. Let's keep going. Okay? Alright, Charmeleon. Go back in your fucking Pokeball. Alright. The ascent from matter back to spirit, for then it is evolved from which it was involved from the in the descent through the subtle phases of development. It is obvious that nothing can be evolved unfolded which was not previously involved and enfolded. The actual course What the fuck happened to the other picture, nigga? Oh man. Remember the zigzag. 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 The actual course of evolution follows the track of lightning, the lightning flash or flaming sword from Kether to Malkuth in the order of development of the Sephira previously described. Let's transcribe the shit. Let's get the order of the Sephira because I'm skipping chapters on you niggas. I would like to say it goes from Kether, Kakuma, Binah, oh there it is, Chesed, fucking Gebra, all the way across, boom, bang, bing. That's the lightning flash. Wow, wow, wow. It touches everything, okay? From the source, boom. This is how consciousness comes down, right? Okay, from Kether to Malkuth in the order of the development previously described, but consciousness descends plane by plane and only begins to manifest when the polarizing Sephira are in equilibrium, which means your consciousness can't arise until both sides of your pillar are balanced. You know what I'm saying? Until you understand mercy and severity. You know what I mean? And you ain't just leaning one towards the damn Mars side only. Okay? Straight like that. So, therefore, the modes of consciousness are assigned to the equilibriating Sephira upon the middle pillar, but the magical powers are assigned to the opposing Sephira, each at the end of the beam of the balance of the pairs of opposites. The way of initiation follows the coilings of the serpent of wisdom upon the tree, but the way of illumination follows the path of the arrow, which is shot from the bow of promise. Quishef, the rainbow of astral colors, spreads like a halo behind Yesod. This is the way of the mystic as distinguished from the occultist. It is swift and direct and free from danger and temptation of the unbalanced force that is met within either pillar, but it confers no magical powers save of sacrifice in Tippara and psychism in Yesod. So what they just said is basically you could take two paths up this bitch. Okay? There is the way of illumination and the way of initiation. Right now we're talking about initiation, but also you have to understand the illumination. Who took the path of illumination, which was, it follows the path of the arrow, which is shot from, does the arrow sound like a bow, nigga? Or does the arrow sound like a lightning strike? No. Okay? This is the mystic way. You know what I'm saying? And what is that? Nigga, the straight path, nigga. Straight path. Dealing with all this, listen. Listen, you may fuck some shit up. You got a lot of power when you start going, you veer off the straight and narrow. Okay? You veer off the straight and narrow, you will have more power. But like I said, this is shit that you have to understand how to use, because you can cause a little bit of, you know what I'm saying? Because you are dealing with shit that is above you, nigga. Like I said, these you are dealing with the damn archonic forces and shit like that too. You're dealing with a lot of shit. You know what I'm saying? Once you start calling on and meditating upon some of this shit. I'm reading from the mystical Kabbalah, Dion Fortune. Okay? Mystical Kabbalah, Dion Fortune. Okay? So you choose your path. Nigga, if you want to be a super magician, nigga, traverse the whole tree. And I'll eventually get to the point where it says, once you learn one path, you can go back. Learn another path. So you're not locked in until you're dead. Then it's you taking whatever the fuck you know to the next side. Right? So, where we at? Water. Every word be feeling like -1 HP in this bitch. The way of initiation follows the coil. Okay, boom, I just read that. It confers no magical powers, save those in sacrifice and psychism in YESOD. But that psychic shit, you know what I'm saying? There's a lot of illusions. There's a lot of illusions when you come from right here. You know what I'm saying? This is the realm of dreams. The dreams come from that damn moon. The number 9. Because here's the thing. Everything right here down in MALKUTH, where we're at, everything emanates down here. Everything's emanating down here. Everything is emanating down here. So the source of everything down here is coming from above. That is what this is telling us. It's coming from above. So yeah, learn astrology and just blame the stars for everything. You know, you don't have to take accountability. Just blame it on Mars. Not true. Okay, boom. Let's move forward. Let's move forward. Let's move forward. What page was I supposed to slide to? Where we at? Boom, bang, bing, bang, boom, boom. Okay, boom. Gotta read this. All right, now listen. He finds the Kabbalistic tree of life a link between the highly stylistic pagan systems and his own more rational methods. The Jew, Asiatic by blood and a monotheistic by religion, has set foot in both worlds. Upon the tree of life, the 10 holy Sephira, the modern occultist bases both a metaphysic and a magic. He uses a philosophical conception to the tree to interpret what represents to his conscious mind, and he uses a magical and ceremonial application of his symbolism to link it with his subconscious mind. In other words, you take all of this shit and you rationalize with it however that you fucking can. Okay? However your fucking brain can fucking make sense of this, that's what you do. And you utilize it. Okay? Because this shit is interchangeable with all different types of gods and all types of pantheons. And like I said, it's a whole bunch of shit that you can use. Okay? But like I said, he uses a philosophical conception of the tree to interpret what represents to his conscious mind. And then he uses a magical and ceremonial application of this symbolism to link it up with his subconscious mind. Hence the entire reasoning for what they call ceremonial magic, right? The person, the magician, will take a energy, a deity, a angel, whatever the fuck, right? Because, of course, each one of these, Elohim, El, Jehovah, all this shit, all these different Adonai, all these different angels associated with each goddamn Sephira, right? Some of these people want to call down on these angels, some of these energies, voodoo spirits, however you want to look at it, and based on whatever you believe in, and work with the energy, right? Now, here's the thing. They don't give a fuck what you call it. They just give a fuck that, or it works because you can associate the energy with something, so therefore you could put it in your mind, right? You can associate it with a certain god, so you could put it in your mind. You can associate it with a certain goddamn Marvel fucking character, so you can put that in your mind. And then what you do is the ceremonial ritualistic magic, meaning everything in your ritual is literally set up specifically for that deity, that ancestor, that voodoo, that Loa spirit, Mami Wata, fucking Ogun. You got the shit that this nigga likes. Goddamn Papa Legba, the cigars and the tobacco, all the shit, the rum, wooty wooty whoop. You have the things that it is necessary to get that energy from up there and out of here into the physical. Straight like that. Okay? Straight like that. And my phone just went off, so, you know, y'all don't know what that means, but I'm a synchronicity nigga. Boom. Alright. Okay, to the initiate, consequently makes the best of both worlds, ancient and modern. Nigga, ain't that what we trying to do? I just said you can take Iron Man and put him in this bitch, nigga. But I mean, if you're being realistic with the whole actual lore, you know, there is, you know, the Eternals would have to be up there. You know, there's a lot of shit going on. The initiate consequently makes the best of both worlds, ancient and modern. For the modern world is all surface consciousness and has forgotten and repressed the subconsciousness to its own great hurt. And the ancient world was mainly subconscious. Consciousness having been recently evolved, where the two are linked up and brought into polarized function, yet they yield super consciousness, which is the goal of an initiate. Okay, boom, boom, boom. Hold on. Forging the conceptions in the mind, let us try to coordinate the ancient pantheons with the spheres upon the tree of life. There are 10 such spheres, blah, blah, blah. The obviously of great intellectual value. There is another value which does not so readily appear to the average man who has no experience of mystery workings. The performance of a ceremonial rite symbolically representing the working of the force personified as a god has very marked and even drastic effect on the subconscious mind of any person who is all susceptible to psychic influences. So like I said, if you are and have some sort of magician wizardry inside of you, nigga, you can associate any one of these spheres with the correct or with a certain deity. And they're even saying that's the best thing for you to do. Hence why, I don't know, all these cultures came up with gods, nigga. Especially the ones which we started with the goddamn Egyptians, and there's literally gods all over the motherfucking shit, you know? Niggas with hawk heads and shit, niggas with fucking crocodile heads and dog jackal heads and shit. Why would they do that? Because it's something, symbols, subconscious. Come on. Work with a nigga. Work with a nigga. All right? Let me reread that. Okay? The average man who has no experience of mystery workings, the performance of a ceremonial rite symbolically representing the working of a force personified as a god, the working of a force personified as a god. You take that force that is already available. You think that motherfucker finna just respond to you because you, and there's billions of people in there. Anyways, a lot of motherfuckers working with the force. You gotta know how to work with the force. Whether you're calling it an ancestor, whether you're calling it a god, whatever, whether you're calling it fucking what the fuck ever you're calling it, you know what I'm saying? It says, the working of the force personified as a god has very marked and even drastic effect on the subconscious mind of any person who is all susceptible to psychic influences. The ancient had brought these rites to a very high pitch of perfection, and when we moderns try to reconstruct the lost art of practical magic, we can go to them with great profit. The whole philosophy of European magic is based upon the tree, and no one can hope to understand it or use it intelligently who has not been trained in Kabbalistic methods. Okay? It is this lack of training which makes this popular occultism so apt to degenerate in our crudest superstition. Hold on. Relying chiefly upon astrological association to guide us, because astrology is the one universal language for all people to see the same planets. Space is referred to as Kether, the zodiac to Kakuma, the 7 planets, the 7 Sephiroth, Earth to Malkuth. Consequently, any god who has an analogy with Saturn will be referenced to Binah, which is up here, that's for sure, number 3. Binah, and then you probably got the Shekinah as damn wisdom, the female version, you know, if that's goddamn Saturn, Kronos. Anyways, because the shit gotta balance, nigga. Shit gotta balance. Alright, now hold on. Old gods, hold on. Whoa, Saturn will be referred to Binah, as will any goddess who is termed the primordial mother, the superior Eve, as distinguished from the inferior Eve, the bride of micro horoscopes, Malkuth. So boom, if you can refer to any fucking, what did it say? Any god with analogy to Saturn. Remember, Saturn has 1,000 different names, right? So if you could put that nigga there, and in any great mother name, you know what I'm saying? You could build your own goddamn tree of life. You can take all these guys that you know and ones that you fuck with and be like, nigga, well, I'm about to call in a nigga from the Mayans. Nigga, I'm about to tap in with some of these Palo niggas down here in Cuba. I'm about to tap in with some of that shit from over there in goddamn India. I'm calling them Kali. You know what I'm saying? Whatever you want to do. However that is, you work with it. You know what I'm saying? It's all work wittable. Okay? You just got to place the shit in the right spot. You know? Straight like that. Boom. The supernal triangle of Keter, Kakuma, Bana refers to the old gods, and every pantheon recognizes the predecessors of those forms of the godhead worshipped by the current faiths. That makes sense. Which would mean Rhea and Kronos are referred to as Beni, Bina, and Kakuma. That makes sense. But I'm always telling y'all to remember the Titans, right? Remember again, on some astrological shit, we came from up above and descended all the way down to the kingdom, right? Losing consciousness all the way down, right? So if you understand that these were the gods, these up here represent the predecessor gods from every pantheon, Rhea and Kronos, right? All the other gods, like Zeus would be right here then, with his bitch ass. You know what I'm saying? All the remember who came first, you know? But the ones that they got your ass worried about is this nigga right here. You know, whoever's going as the sun. You know. Okay. Says the so the real talking about Jupiter to Chesed. Jupiter right here. Chesed. The war gods and destructive gods or divine devils referred to Geburah. You already know where that would be, right across. Mercy and severity, right? All the corn goddesses referred to Malkuth and other lunar goddesses. And that was another thing that I was reading too when it comes to doing the damn ritual. All these gods, way back then were all what? Associated with what? A certain damn plant. Like fucking Osiris, nigga, the god of corn and maize and shit. You doing a goddamn Osiris ritual, nigga, get some goddamn corn. Nigga, to represent the shit. I mean, shit. I'm just saying. Information's out there. Do with it what you will. Okay? Moving forward. I ain't trying to have you niggas here all night. I ain't trying to be here all night. I'm just trying to get this breakdown. Oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit. Okay, boom. Okay, boom. Fuck all that. Okay, I was just talking about these symbols and shit. Once we are acquainted with the symbolism assigned to the various Sephiroth and their equivalent gods in other systems, when we look up the symbols, functions, cosmic concepts, and methods of worship assigned by these deities, we get a fresh flood of illumination. Because exactly, you can literally look up, right? This book was written in like the 80s, nigga. This book was written, listen, I got a goddamn bookmark in this book from July 7th, 1986. So they didn't even have the fucking internet back then, nigga, and they were still able to research this shit. You have a plethora of information at your disposal. Okay, what do we got? Let me read it again. Once we are acquainted with the symbolism assigned to the various Sephiroth and their equivalent gods in other systems, when we look up the symbols, functions, cosmic concepts, and methods of worship assigned to these deities, we get a fresh flood of illumination. You can literally look up how they used to do rituals for this nigga or any of these other gods back in the day, and then somehow make your own up. Because the best ritual is the one that you make up yourself. But please have the fundamentals down, or you might be wasting your time. Have the fundies down, okay? Have the fundies. You know, fucking, I don't know if you've ever seen any old wizards or any wizards depicting any motherfucking anything. They have a lot of fucking books, nigga. The Alchemist, nigga, why you think I have so many books? I study, nigga. You gotta be able to fucking, you wanna be able to put a damn ritual together. You gotta be able to draw from all your, you gotta have knowledge. That's it. That's it. Okay? So if you're gonna be on some wizardry, coming up with some rituals, you have a notepad, magical fucking diary, all types of shit. You know, you know what the fuck's working and what the hell's not working. I got some results with the damn rum. They wasn't fucking with the vodka. Okay, we ain't doing that vodka shit no more. You know, come on. I ain't giving no spirit no damn vodka. I don't even drink that shit. I ain't giving these niggas nothing. I ain't drinking because I'm about to take a sip of that shit too. What the fuck? Okay, boom. By the use of a good, oh my God. It says, other systems, we look at functions, cosmic concepts, methods of worship assigned to these deities, we get a fresh flood of illumination by the use of a good mythological dictionary or encyclopedia. See how thick this book is? The ultimate encyclopedia on mythology, nigga. I'm not telling you niggas nothing. I'm not already on my damn self. How you think I can tell you, nigga, all these gods? It just the once you learn the shit, and I study mythology heavily, hence why I tell y'all to study the damn shit. Because once you learn all these different pantheons and all this shit and all the different mythologies from around the world, you can just look at this bitch and be like, all right, I can throw a Greek nigga up here, an African nigga right here, an Indian nigga right here, a Mayan nigga, Yoruba nigga, Native American nigga. I could put niggas everywhere. Try like that. Like I said, how was he worshipped? How was these gods worshipped? Ah, blah, blah. What is even some gods you can worship? And on the same God and shit, you know what I'm saying? It's like, how the fuck can you goddamn, how can you get some damn results if by calling on some different shit? If everybody already knows, nigga, find a little deity that was worshipped, nigga, in the cut by like 10 niggas. Niggas had their own little shit going on. Like, oh shit, ain't nobody calling on this energy right here. Everything else is diluted. Everybody calling on this Jesus shit. Dilute. Everybody calling on Allah. Dilute. It's diluted. Everybody praying to the same goddamn voodoo spirits. All the shit is diluted. Nigga, the energy, all you think shit ain't nobody getting no damn results. Nobody getting no damn results. Everybody trying to drink from the goddamn same water fountain at the same time. Huh? Or everybody trying to drink. It's like we going to a damn river, right? Everybody's thirsty as shit. We're going to a fucking river, and I fucking get down on my knees, and I'm fucking scooping the water behind me, right? I'm scooping the water up. I'm drinking the damn water. I'm LARPing like a damn dog, right? Drinking the water, and I goddamn look behind me, and there's a goddamn line of people behind me. We have a whole riverbank. A whole waterfall. Nigga. Go over the fuck over there and drink it from a source over there. It's the same source. Doesn't matter what the fuck you call on, motherfucker. It's all coming from the same source. It's all coming from the same source. It's all emanating from the same source. No matter if, it's all emanating from the same source. Fuck. Diluting the juice, nigga. Diluting the juice. Nigga, mix it up, nigga. I have the ultimate fucking free will of ever that you've ever heard of, nigga. Mix it the fuck up. Do something different. Do some shit that will shock you and have you laughing, nigga. What the fuck? Other day I was like, you know what? Tired of complaining to the landlord. Told the nigga about the water pressure, all the shit. I was fed up. I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm like, fuck it. I got free will. So what do? In the middle of my shower, pissed off, irritated, right? Irritated. I said, fuck it, nigga. I said, fuck it. I goddamn unscrewed the goddamn shower head off the shit. I unscrewed that bitch. Turned the goddamn hot water back on. Motherfucking direct from the source, nigga. Fuck a shower head, nigga. Nigga, what? I left that damn shower giggling, screwed the shower head back on. I was laughing my ass off because that felt amazing as fuck. And then you take your goddamn thumb and then you really got some pressure. I did that one today. I did that one today, actually. Free will, okay? Do what you will. Can't nobody out free will this guy over here, though, nigga. Ain't nobody ever took the shower head off to get some more pressure, nigga, just to feel some shit. Feel that hot water even better. That shit was... Anyways, okay. If you want, okay, boom, 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 boom. We can, by mere application of diligence, read a great many riddles that first appeared insoluble, and this exercise is a fascinating one. Yes, dealing with mythology, finding out the sauce, figuring out where they would fit at in the whole shit, or how that, because even then, motherfucker, the damn mythology starts off with a creator, and this motherfucker did this, that, it's all this. It's all this. It's just all this. Hence why in an occult book they're telling you to study a mythology book. Go get any encyclopedia on mythology. You'll be able to understand this shit. I just read that, right? Literally. Listen. Okay? And a lot of those myths were insoluble. Meaning insoluble, nigga. Shit can't dissolve in the damn water, nigga. Take a rock and put it in water, it's not gonna dissolve. Take a fucking piece of a rock, a salt crystal, put it in the water, it's soluble. It will dissolve. Okay? Now, it says, okay, now doing all that shit is fascinating. Now, when thus the tree is peculiarly valuable because it is a diagrammic form, because it causes things to be seen in relation to each other, thus causing them to throw light upon each other. You become illumined. This is why they say they have a path for the initiate, but if you take another path, you become illumined. Here's the thing. You become illumined when you study the correspondences of the tree of life. Simple as that. Period. There's no way you could study this shit and remain on the same spiritual level that you're on. There's no way. There's no way. In order to manipulate the psychic aspect of the tree and its path, the occultist uses images. In order to manipulate the psychic aspect of the tree, motherfucker, if I believe in my mind that I've already passed the Charmander stage, I'm at this Charmeleon stage, and I'm on my goddamn way to Charizard, I can see that in my fucking mind. It's a form of evolution, whether I'm comparing myself to a fake-ass Pokemon or I'm comparing myself from the caterpillar to the fucking butterfly, okay? Images in the mind. Everything, I want y'all to understand how powerful your mind is. It is everything. Everything. We read the damn Corpus Hermetica. Everything down here is a fantasy or an appearance. That's it. Only thing you have down here is your mind. Okay? That's it. Okay? That's it. So, going back to the tree. Okay? And even then, once you start looking, oh shit, the seraphim. Hold on, the seraphim. Do you know what that is? Oh, okay, certain angel level, right? There's a hierarchy. Hold on, what is this? The seraphim, the cherubim, right? The dominions, whatever the fuck this is, Zibalot, whatever, Sabaoth. You know that's one that created niggas, creator niggas too, right? Sabaoth, that's your dollar, bro, son type of shit for real. You feel me? The angel sphere, the sphere of the angels, nigga. And what does that say down there? It says humans, nigga. In a weird way, but it's humans, nigga. Okay? Angeli, the humanians, or whatever the fuck that shit says. Humans, nigga. Everybody has their own shit, their own sphere, all the shit. Okay? All that. So, understand. Okay? And, in order to manipulate the psychic aspect of the tree and its paths, the occultist uses images, because it is by means of the images and the names that evoke them the vision is formulated. Damn, I just said that. Well, I've also read this. But anyways, in order to manipulate the psychic aspect of the tree and its path, the occultist uses images, because it is by means of the images and the names that invoke them that vision is formulated. He associates with each sephira a primary symbol, which is called its magical image. Secondly, he associates with it in his mind a geometrical form which in various ways embodies its characteristics, for when he composes symbols, he uses that as a basis. So, for instance, Geburah, which is this right here, Mars, hold on, make sure I'm not tripping. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, 5. Or it even says that right there. I'm a fucking bot. Geburah, Mars, the fifth sephira, has been assigned to it the pentagon, or the five-sided figure. Any symbol of Geburah, whether it be a talisman, an altar to Mars, or a mental picture or a symbol, would be in the form of a pentagon colored with one of the colors of the Mars color scale. So Mars is red. If I'm pissed off, I can visualize a Glock with a pentagon barrel and curse somebody in my mind if I want to, you know. But once you have, it all depends on what you can do with the damn mind, you know. Straight like that. There are those names of power, 4 colors. Hold on. The second name of power is that of the archangel. Each one of these spheres has an archangel, and it represents the organized consciousness of that being through the activities of which the evolution of that phase was inaugurated and directed. Although these beings are represented pictorially as of human form, though etherealized, it must not be thought of that life and consciousness as we know them are in any way correspond to their nature. They are more akin in essence to natural forces. This is what the angels are. Everybody calling on these goddamn angels. They are more akin in essence to natural forces. Yet if we consider them simply as unintelligent energy, we shall have no adequate concept of their nature, because they are essentially an individualized, intelligent, and purposive. Both these ideas must enter into our concept, modifying each other until we finally have arrived at the realization that differs very widely from anything to which the Western thought has been accustomed. The fourth is the mundane chakra, hence why this is telling you pretty much all of the associations with each sephira, the solar plexus, the planet, and all that damn shit, and all the astrological symbols that go with it, you know, straight like that. All right. Peace to the gods, y'all. Hopefully this shit is making sense. Oh, damn, somebody said it might be making sense. What did nigga say? This is starting to make sense because the movie you recommended. Everything, Everywhere, All at Once. Exactly. That's where down this is, all this shit down here. We are the possibility and the sum of all conclusions down here on Earth. We represent the infinite possibility of being that. You know what I'm saying? That already is that. This is the infinite possibility of that. The caterpillar can become the butterfly. It just can't get stepped on and crushed and give up and not make it to the motherfucking cocoon phase. You know? But it can. It has the ultimate potential. So do you. We're going to do it with MALKUTH. Okay? MALKUTH is in none of the triangles. Whatever. Now the color is yellow, citrine, olive, russet, black. Yitzra, in the Yitzra, the book we're talking about, olive, russet, black, and fleckled with gold. Black and gold for MALKUTH. Fuck you. That was my fucking high school football colors, damn it. Black and gold. Okay, boom. MALKUTH. Is said by the Kabbalists that it is the sephira that receives the influences or emanations of all other sephira. Okay? It is represented as partly colored instead of one unit, blah, 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 it is the nadir of evolution and the outermost point of the outgoing arc through which all life must pass before returning to whence it came. Come on. Come on. Malkuth is said to be the sphere of the earth, but we must not make any mistake in thinking that the Kabbalists meant Malkuth as only the terrestrial plane. They meant also the earth soul, that is to say, the subtle psychic aspect of matter, the underlying nomenon of the physical plane, which gives rise to all physical phenomena, like the four elements. These are not air, earth, fire, known to the physicists, but are conditions. These are the four conditions in which energy can exist. I like that because, you know, people think of the elements as what they are, but they are just the conditions in which that type of energy coming down from up there, raining down up here, all this shit right there comes down and it filters into earth or the solid inorganic matter, water, air element, fire. Those are the emanations, and they rain down upon all these shits and show up down here and manifest as four elements. Okay. Boom. The esotericist sees in Malkuth the end result of all operations. Not until all the pairs of opposites have achieved and settled equilibrium, which gives the state of earth or coherence, can be said to have completed by any given of experience. When this is achieved, blah. The great point to remember in connection with Malkuth is that herein everything has achieved stability. All the other sephira in varying degrees mobile, even the central pillar only achieving equilibrium in function, just a tightrope. In Yesod, number 9, as though essentially a form-giving sephira, it depends on the manifestation of its activities upon the substance provided by from Malkuth. The forms of Yesod are such stuff the dreams are made of. You know what I'm saying? And this is what I find is interesting. Okay, you know they said all the forms come from Yesod down to Malkuth. Now what that really means is all these different energies, like I said, is what you call emotions. Emotions is simply energy in motion. And what I said, all that shit correlates and manifests into Yesod as emotions. This is how they show up. Okay? Straight like that. All these right here, they take form. This is what gives form to all of these, right? They all take form in here and manifest as emotion. Okay. Material forms Malkuth to body their forms. And equally with Malkuth, it is innate matter until the powers of Yesod. Everything down here is innate matter until the powers of Yesod ensoul it. We shall conceive the material plane as the outward invisible sign of invisible etheric energy. We shall conceive the material plane as the outward invisible sign of invisible etheric energy. It goes without saying that where there is life, there is Yesod. Okay? Because Yesod is the vehicle of life, but it shall also be realized that where there is any kind of electrical activity or conductivity, whether of crystals, metals, or chemicals, there is a Yesodic force in function. It is in this fact which makes certain substances suitable for talismans, because they make and will take a charge. They will take a charge of astral force. Hence, you've seen people make talismans by doing X, Y, and Z, but also doing what? Leaving it in the moonlight. I have a few that was done just like that. Just not by me. Because when in doubt, get somebody better than you to do the damn spiritual work. You know. And that was when I was a babe. That was when I was Charmander. You guys getting this shit or what? Peace to the gods, peace to the gods, peace to the gods. Alright. It is possible It is possible by using their influence over one another to achieve the results for which for what understanding are called magical. It is of course this method of magic to manipulate the teeniest elemental forms, but it's also the method of life to do the same thing. And if magic is to be anything more than autosuggestion, it must use the methods of life. That is to say, it must work through the interdimension of protoplasm. For protoplasm, it is curious web-like structure. It carries the subtle magnetic force, the fire of the wise transmitted through the elemental air. In other words, the operator has to use his own body as a self-starter, for it is the magnetism of his own protoplasm that supplies the basis of manifestation for any force that is being brought through the sphere of MALKUTH, carried into its logical conclusion. It is the principle of generation, whether protozoa or spermatozoa. It is for this reason that the esotericist personifies the subtler forces and calls them intelligence. He proceeds to deal with them as if they are intelligent. And he finds that there is a subtle side to his own nature and consciousness when he responds to them, in which responds to them in which he fondly believes they respond. So you really gotta retard max and be delusional with the shit, damn near. You just gotta believe that what the fuck I'm doing work. I'm working. This shit's working. Straight like that. Okay, boom. At any rate, whether the response is mutual or not, his powers of dealing with them are, by this means, greatly extended beyond those which he possesses, and he regards them as a fortuitous concourse of uncorrelated incidents. MALKUTH is the nadir of evolution, but it should be looked upon not as the ultimate depth of unspirituality, but the marking buoy in a yacht race. Any yacht that puts about on going homeward course before it has rounded the marking buoy is disqualified. And so it is with the soul. If we try to escape from the discipline of matter before we have mastered the lessons of matter, we are not advancing heavenwards, but suffering from arrested development. That is MALKUTH. I can keep going on MALKUTH. I just want to read a little bit about YESOD, and we're going to wrap this shit up. Straight like that. Because YESOD and MALKUTH go hand in hand. Okay? I got a little bit more to read. Clearly, I fucking highlight the entire book. Just, okay, yes. Okay, now boom. YESOD got a lot of shit that deals with it. Fuck. Magical image. Beautiful naked man. Very strong. Whoa. The ninth path is called the pure intelligence because it purifies the emanations. It proves and corrects the designing of their representations and disposes the unity in which they are designed without diminution or division. Shaddai, El Shai, the mighty living God is the name. The archangel associated with YESOD is Gabriel. The mundane chakra, Levana, the moon. Okay. Now this is some shit too. The virtue of the moon is independence. The vice of the moon is idleness. The correspondence in the microcosm is the reproductive organs. Symbols, perfumes, and sandals. So if you want to do a moon ritual, and that makes sense too. I done heard a couple of the goddamn goddesses, you know what I'm saying, needing some type of smell good, you know, when you're doing an offering to their ass, you know. The 9 cards in the tarot, the color indigo, violet, dark purple. Okay, boom. The concept of fluidic waters of chaos being finally gathered up and organized by means of representations that were designed in Had. This final proving, correcting, disposing of the unity representations of formative images resulting in the organization of the machinery of the universe. YESOD is the sphere of that particular substance partaking of the nature of both mind and matter, which is called the ether of the wise, the akasha, the astral light according to the terminology that's being used. It is not the ether of the physics, which is the fire element of the sphere of Malkuth, but it is to that ether what their ether is to dense matter. It is in fact the basis of the phenomena which physicists attributes to empirical ether. The ether of the wise might in very fact be the root of the ether of physics. Yesod may be conceived of as the receptacle of the emanations of all the other Sephira, and it is taught by the Kabbalists as the immediate and only transmitter of these emanations to Malkuth, the physical plane. Hence, the very importance of the moon in human life. Okay? As the YESOD text says, it is the function of YESOD to purify the emanations and yet proved to correct them. Consequently, in this sphere, all operations are carried out and designed for the corresponding sphere of dense matter in any way to dispose of its unity of design. YESOD then is the all-important sphere for any magic which is designed to take effect in the physical world. Straight like that. It says the only... Hold on. Oh, shit. Let me see. It says YESOD is also of extreme importance to the practical occultist because it is the first sphere in which he makes acquaintance when he comes to rise on the planes, which is true. Because when you start to rise your consciousness up, first place you're going to go is up here, right? It's the only step you can go. And lifts his consciousness above Malkuth, having trodden the terrible 30-second path of the tower, the cross of suffering of Saturn, he enters Yesod, the treasure house of images, and the sphere of Maya, illusion. Yesod, considered by itself the unquestionably sphere of illusion, because the treasure of the house of images, and it is none other than reflecting the ether of the earth sphere and corresponds in the microcosm to the unconscious of the psychologist, filled with the ancient and forgotten things represented since the childhood of the race. The keys that unlock the doors of the treasure house of images enable us to command the denizens and to be found in the Had of the spirit of magic. It is said in the mysteries that no degree becomes functional until one has taken the next. Anyone who tries to function as a magician in Yesod soon learns his error, for although he can perceive the images in the treasure house, he has no word of power in which to command them. Therefore, in initiation upon the western path, at any rate, can't speak for the eastern, in the grades of the lesser mysteries, go straight up the central path to Tiphareth and do not follow the line of the lightning flash. In Tiphareth, the initiate takes the first grade of adepthood, and from there he returns if he so desires to learn the technique of the magician relative to the personality of the tree, that is to say, the macrocosmic unit of incarnation. So the moon is highly needed in goddamn magic. So yeah, that's what I got for you guys today. My voice is going out. I'm tired. I appreciate y'all coming through, listening, studying with me, going over this information, this very pertinent information. You know what I'm saying? This will not be the last you hear on the subject. Okay, this is just the beginning or the start of many breaks, but because I still want to go over to Qliphoth and the other side of the tree. There's a lot I got to do, a lot I want to do, a lot I want to do. So little time. But again, you guys can do your due diligence on all this. Study the tree of life, you know, find what you can. Just study each one of these individually, and it'll all come together, you know? It's not something that can be learned overnight. This was shit that motherfuckers got initiated into and had to really learn this shit, you know? And I'm really learning this shit. Like I told you, I had to put the book down and learn astrology. and did not come back to that book until I was comfortable in identifying how that energy works in the planets and shit, you know? And that's just me being extremely humble about it, you know, just being straight up. You know, I'm still learning my damn self, you know, but each one teach one. Peace to the gods and peace to all the goddesses. I'm out.